Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the daily current affairs of July 20. Today our topics are Shivaji's iconic workman on display at Satara Museum, which comes under GS 1 paper history. Next, UPSC chairperson Manoj Soni quits 5 years before completion of tenure, which comes under GS 2 paper polity. Next, enemy property, which comes under GS2 both in polity and governance. Next, our topic is India plans to enter into carbon crediting mechanism with Japan, which comes under GS2 and GS3 under international relations and environment. Next, Ashmita project, which comes under environment. Which comes under project. Generally, we have to know about this. The promise of parametric insurance. It is an editorial analysis topic. And finally, we are going to see the mapping. So now we'll move on to the topics. The first topic is Shivaji's iconic work on display at Satara Museum. So first of all, we have to know about what is in news. The historic Wagner, a tiger claw-shaped weapon used by Maratha warrior king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja to kill Bijapur Sultanate General Afzal Khan, is now on display at the Sitara Museum. It was brought from London's Victoria and Albert Museum to celebrate the 350th anniversary of Shivaji Maharaja Ascension with a grand event attended by state leaders and royalty. The weapon was brought to India from London's Victoria and Albert Museum on July 17. The display marks the 350th anniversary of Shivaji Maharaja Ascension to the throne. The Vagnak will be on display at Satara Museum for the next 7 months. A grand welcome was organized in Satara for a weapon. Next, the Battle of Pratagar. So this battle took place on November 10, 1659 near the Pratapgarh fort in Maharashtra. It was a significant conflict between Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja and Bijapur Sultanate General Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan, a powerful commander, sought to crush Shivaji Maharaja's rising power. Shivaji Maharaja, known for his military strategy, used guerrilla tactics to counter Khan force. The battle is famed for Shivaji Maharaja's innovative use for Vagnak, a tiger claw-shaped weapon, which he used to kill Afzal Khan. The defeat of Afzal Khan marked a major victory for Shivaji Maharaja, enhancing his reputation and consolidating his power in the region. Next, we have to know about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja. He was born on 19th February 1630 at Shivneri Fort in district Pune in the present-day state of Maharashtra. He was born to Shahaji Bhonsle, a Maratha general who held the Jagirs of Pune and served under the Jaipur Sultanate, and Jalabi, a pious woman whose religious qualities had profound influence on him. Shivaji was not named after Lord Shiva. His name was derived from the name of a regional deity, goddess Shivai. So now what are the contributions he have been done? He revived ancient Hindu political traditions, unquote conventions, and promoted the usage of Marathi and Sanskrit rather than Persian in court and administration. India's first ever navy in the modern era was built by Shivaji to protect the coast of Maharashtra. He established a competent and progressive civil rule with the help of disciplined military and well-structured administrative organizations. He innovated military tactics, pioneering non-conventional methods, that is, guerrilla warfare, and leveraged strategic factors like geography, speed, and surprise. He focused on pinpoint attacks to defeat his large and more powerful enemies. A brave and genuinely secular ruler, he respected women and cared for the downtrodden and farmers. He died on 3rd April in the year 1680. Now we have to know about who is this Afzal Khan. He was the 17th century commander of the Adil Shadi dynasty of Vijaypur. With Chhatrapati Shivaji rise and increased control of the region, Afzal Khan was seen as the man of subdue him in the Deccan. Khan put together a force of 10,000 cavalry and marched from Vijaypur to Vai, plundering Shivaji's territory along the way. Shivaji called a council of war at the fort of Pratapgarh, where most of his advisers urged him to make peace. During the meeting, an embrace between two turned into an attack, which Shivaji emerged victorious. This was followed by the rout of the Adil Shah army at the hands of Marathas. As per Maratha source, Khan remains were buried at the fort and a tomb was constructed on Shivaji's order. Now we have to know about important battles. So first, the Battle of Pratapgarh in the year 1659. So it was fought at the fort of Pratapgarh near the town of Satara, Maharashtra, between the forces of the Maratha king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja and Adil Shah general of Afzal Khan. Next battle is Battle of Pawan Khind, which was held in 1660. It fought at a mountain pass in the vicinity of Fort Vishgal near the city of Kohalpur, Maharashtra, between the Maratha Sardar Baj Prabhu Deshpande and Siddhi Mazat of Adishagi. Next battle is Battle of it is a sacking of Surat, which was held in 1664. It was fought near the city of Surat, Gujarat, between Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja and Inyat Khan, a Mughal captain. The next battle is Battle of Purandar. So, Battle of Purandar was held in 1665, fought between Mughal Emperor and Maratha Empire. Next is Battle of Sinhagat, which was held in 1670, fought on the fort of Sinhagat near the city of Pune, Maharashtra, between Tanaji Malsure, a commander of Maratha ruler Shivaji Maharaja, and Udayban Rathod. Fort keeper under a Jai Singh I was a Mughal army chief. Next, Battle of Kalyan, which was held in 1682 to 83. Bahadur Khan of Mughal Empire defeated the Maratha army and took over Kalyan. Our next battle is Battle of Sangam, which was held in 1679. It fought between the Mughal Empire and Maratha Empire. This was the last battle in which the Maratha King Shivaji fought. So next we have the practice question for UPSC prelims. The question is Chhatrapati Shivaji is related to which Maratha Garnan? So first Holkar, Bonjel, Scindia and none of the above. So the answer is Bonzel. So our next topic is UPSC chairperson Manoj Soni with 5 years before completion of tenure. Now we have to know about why it is in news. UPSC chairperson Manoj Soni has resigned citing personal reasons almost 5 years before the tenure ends in 2029. His resignation submitted to the president is not linked to recent controversies involving fake certificates by UPSC candidates. Soni, a monk associated with Anupam Mission, will focus on his spiritual work. Now we have to know about the Union Public Service Commission. As per the Article 312 of the Indian Constitution, the Parliament is entitled to create one or more All India services common to Union and the states. The Union Public Service Commission is the central recruiting agency in India. It is an independent constitutional body. The provisions regarding the composition of UPSC, appointment and removal of its members, and the powers of function of UPSC are provided under the Part 14 of the Indian Constitution under Article 315 to 323. Now we have to know about appointment of members. The chairperson and other members of the UPSA are appointed by the president. So appointment is done by president. Next, the term of office, like any member of UPSC shall hold office for a term of 6 years or till the age of 65 years, which is where is earlier. Is they are eligible for reappointment. Any person who has once held the offices as a member of Public Service Commission is ineligible for reappointment to the office. Now their resignation. A member of Union Public Service Commission may resign from his or her office by submitting the written resignation to the President of India. So the appointment also done by the President of India, and the removal was done by a president. Next, what are the conditions for the removal? The chairman or any other member of UPSC may be removed if he or she is adjudged and insolvent and also engages during his or her term of office in any paid employment outside the duties of his or her office, is in the opinion of the president unfit to continue in office by reason of infirmity of mind or body. Now, what are the regulating the conditions of service? In case of UPSC, the President of India shall determine the number of members of the Commission and their conditions of service, make provisions with respect to number of members of the staff of the Commission and their conditions of service. Now, what are the restrictions of this power? The condition of service of a member UPSC shall not be amended for his or her appointment that may lead to his or her disadvantage. Now, what are the power to extend these functions? The legislature of a state may provide for the exercise of additional functions by the UPSC or the SPSC as respects the service of the union or the state, and also respects the service in a local authority or other body corporate constituted by law or any public institution. Now, what are the expenses of this UPSC? The expenses of UPSC, including salaries, allowances, and pensions of the members or staff of the commission, are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Submission of reports is done. The UPSC shall present an annual report to the President of India containing the work done by the Commission. The President shall provide a memorandum explaining the cases where the advice of the Commission was not accepted. The reasons for such non-acceptance are presented before each House of the Parliament. With this, we will discuss the UPSC previous year prelims question paper which has been asked in 2020, in the removal of which the following officials of the parliament does not play any role. First, the judges of High Court, judges of Supreme Court, chairman of the Union Public Service Commission, comptroller and auditor general. Here the answer is D. Only comptroller and auditor general is the answer. Next, our next topic is enemy property. So the enemy property, the Indian government has begun to auction properties classified as enemy properties. So we have to know about this. Enemy property are those immovable and movable assets which were left behind by people who took citizenship of Pakistan, China after leaving India during the partition and post the 1962 and 1965 wars. Besides real estate, enemy property may also include bank accounts, shares, gold, and other assets of such individuals. The enemy properties are vested with the custodian of enemy property for India, an authority created under the Enemy Property Act 1968. The 2017 amendment to the Act Enemy Property Amendment and Validation Act 2017 stated that the successor of those who migrated to Pakistan and China ceased to have a claim over the properties left behind in India. The amendment ensured that the law of succession does not apply to enemy property, that there cannot be transferred any of property vested in the custodian by an enemy or enemy subject or enemy firm, and that the custodian shall preserve the enemy property till it is disposed or in accordance with the provisions of the Act. As per the CEPI, there are 13,252 enemy properties in India, valued at over rupees 1 lakh crore. Most of these properties belong to people who migrated to Pakistan, over 100 to those who migrated to China. Uttar Pradesh that has 5,982, highest number of enemy properties, followed by the West Bengal. With this, we have the UPSC prelims practice question. Consider the following statements regarding enemy property in India. Enemy properties are those left behind by the people who took citizenship of Pakistan and China after leaving India during the partition and after 1962 war. Maximum number of enemy properties in Gujarat. So we have seen maximum number of enemy properties are in Uttar Pradesh and followed by that is West Bengal. So automatically this statement is wrong and only first statement is correct. Our next topic is India plans to enter into carbon crediting mechanism with Japan. So first we have to know about what is in news. India and Japan are preparing to sign a memorandum of cooperation to establish a joint crediting mechanism for carbon trading. The mechanism will allocate and track carbon credits, boost job creation, and support low carbon technologies, contributing to both countries' climate goals while ensuring compliance with the Paris Agreement. Now, what are the memorandum of cooperation setting up a joint crediting mechanism? That is JCM, Joint Crediting Mechanism. Their objective first and the framework are India and Japan plan to sign a memorandum of cooperation to establish a joint credit mechanism for sharing emission reduction credits. For emission reduction credits. So the regime will involve a structured allocation of carbon credits and maintain a registry to track these credits with projects needing clearance from a joint committee. Now what is carbon trading here? Carbon trading, also known as carbon emissions trading, is a market-based approach to controlling pollution by providing economic incentives for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Under the scheme, companies or countries are allocated a certain number of carbon credits or allowances, which represent the right to emit a specific amount of carbon dioxide. Entities that reduce their emissions below their allowances can sell their surplus credits to others who need them, thus creating a financial incentive to lower overall emissions. The joint crediting mechanism, that is, the joint crediting mechanism is a bilateral framework initiated by the development country to support greenhouse gas reduction projects in developing countries. It allows for the generation of carbon credits through projects that reduce emissions, which then shared between developed country and the host country. The mechanism aims to promote sustainable development, transfer advanced technologies, and help both parties meet their climate targets under the international agreements. Now, what are the emission cuts here? The emission cuts are credit allocation next, the technology transfer and capacity building. Capacity building. The next is significance of this JCM is increased access to clean technologies and job creation and skill development. So with this we have to see the main question which have been asked in 2022. So clean energy is in the order of the day. Describe briefly India's changing policy towards climate change in various international fora in the context of geopolitics. Our next topic is about Ashmita project. So what is this Ashmita project? The Ministry of Education and the University Grants Commission recently unveiled the Ashmita project aimed at bolstering the availability of educational resources in Indian languages. Now we have to know about this project. So Ashmita, it stands for augmenting study materials in Indian language through translation and academic writing. So it stands for Ashmita So it is an initiative to develop 22,000 books in Indian languages in the next 5 years. It is a collaborative effort of the UGC and the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, a high-powered committee under the Ministry of Education. The primary objective is to initiate, to promote and integrate Indian languages more deeply into the educational system, thereby enriching the learning experience and making it more inclusive. This project is seen as a part of broader strategy to enhance the accessibility and quality of educational materials across various Indian languages. 13 nodal universities have been identified to lead the project, along with member universities from various regions. The UGC has also created a standard operating procedure for the book writing process in each assigned language. The SOP includes the identification of nodal offices and authors, allocation of title, subject and program writing, and editing, submission of the manuscript, review and plagiarism check, finalization, designing, proofreading, and e-publication. Now, what are the other initiatives launched with this? The Ministry of Education also launched Bahubhasha Shab Shabdakosh. So it is one of the initiative. Next, this a single point reference for all words in the Indian languages and their meanings. This initiative will be developed in Central Institute of Indian Languages in collaboration with the Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti. This Sabdoksha will help in using Bharatiya words, phrases and sentences for various new age domains like IT, industry, research and education. And our next topic is about editorial analysis. So under the editorial analysis, we have the topic the promise of parametric insurance. So in 2023, the vanished year, it loses with only $10 billion insured. The insurance industry faces challenges in covering these losses, especially in developing countries, highlighting the need for innovative approaches like parametric insurance to enhance disaster resilience and financial protection. Now, what is the record breaking year in 2023? The year 2023 was recorded as the warmest year on record. A report estimated losses from natural disasters amounted to $280 billion in 2023, with only about $10 billion insured. There is a significant gap in insurance coverage, particularly between developed and developing economies. With increasing extreme weather events, the insurance industry must enhance disaster resilience through alternative coverage methods. Now, what are the present method of disaster reduction? So, the first is indemnity-based insurance products. That is, the globally accepted method of disaster risk reduction involves indemnity-based insurance products. Nothing but as indemnity-based insurance products. So these products require physical assessment of damage for payouts. Also, given the unpredictable of future calamities, past precedents are longer reliable. Verification of losses becomes challenging, especially for economically disadvantaged communities with little record of their assets. The next is the benefits and implementation in this. Parametric insurance builds trust between states and insurers, leading a reasonable pricing and trigger payment combinations. Now, what are the challenges in traditional insurance methods? The challenges are first, growing gap in insurance coverage, call for alternative insurance approaches. Next, the adoption and implementation of parametric insurance allows global adoption trends. For example, of parametric insurance implementation and expansion beyond high impact disasters. So, with this, we have to know about what is the disaster here. So, with this, we have to know a disaster is a severe disruption occurring over a short or long period affecting the functioning of a community or society at large. It results in widespread human, material, economic, or environmental losses which exceed the ability of affected population to cope using its resources. There are different types of disasters here. So, they are classified into categories such as natural disaster and human made disaster. So these are the types of disasters. Here natural disasters include events such as earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, tsunamis and droughts. And it is typically the result of natural phenomena and can have devastating impact on life, property and environment. But the human made disaster is a man-made or anthropogenic disasters. So these include events like industrial accidents, fires, nuclear explosion, radiation, chemical spills, and acts of terrorism. Human made disasters result from human actions and can often be prevented through proper safety measures and regulations. Now, what are the difference between disaster and hazard? It is crucial to differentiate between disaster and a hazard. A hazard refers to potential event that may cause loss of life, injury, property damage, social and economic disruption, or environmental degradation. The hazards can be natural or human made. A disaster occurs when a hazard impacts society or the environment severely or catastrophically. In essence, a hazard becomes a disaster when it means vulnerability. Now, what are the disaster management scene? So, disaster management plays a vital role in minimizing the impact of unforeseen events. When disasters strike, it is crucial to have well prepared and coordinated response in place. The disaster management encompasses the range of activities designed to maintain control over disaster events and provide a framework for helping at-risk population avoid or recover from impact of disaster. Now we have to know about with this disaster management cycle also. So they have mitigation, preparedness, response and recovery. Also disaster management seen in India as diverse geography, legislative framework, community participation, integrated approach, technology and innovation, capacity building, international cooperation, focus on vulnerable groups, economic impact assessment and sustainable development also plays in important role here. Next, our topic is about mapping. The mapping topic is major hill ranges of India. So we are going to see the Aravalli Hills, Vindhya Range, Satpura Range, Western Ghat, and finally the Eastern Ghat. So here, the Aravalli Range originates in Gujarat at Palanpur and extends till Haryana. They terminate in Delhi Range. They have maximum extent to 800 km. Also, they are old fold mountain ranges of the oldest tectonic mountains in the world. Rocks that make up the Aravallis are more than 2 billion years old. Only a few peaks reach an elevation above 1000 meters. These include Mount Gurkshekar, which is 1722 meters. The highest point of Aravallis, Mount Abu, 1158 meters. It's part of the plateau. Next, the geologically they are mainly made up of dwarf igneous and metamorphic rocks. They contain the largest marble deposits in India. River Banas, Luni, Sabarmati are born in Aravallis. Banas is a tributary of Chambal. Luni is ephemeral river of that terminates in the Rann of Kutch. They contain several passes that cut through them, especially between Udaipur and Ajmal, like Pipilgat, Divide, and Deshuri. They also contain several lakes like Lake Samba, a largest inland saline water body in India, Lake Diba, Lake Jaisamad. The next is Vindhya Range. So the Vindhya Range, these are non-tectonic mountains. They formed not because of plate collision, but because they have downward faulting of the Narmada Rift Valley, NRV of their south. They extend for 1200 km from Bharuch in Gujarat to Sasram in Bihar. The average height is 300 to 650 meters. They are also known by local names such as Panna, Kaimar, and Reba. So they rise from NRV in the form of steep, sharp slopes called escarpates. The escarpates are well developed in Kaimur and Panna regions. The next is Satpura range. So Satpura range is a combination of Satpura, Mahadev and Maikala hills. Satpura hills are tectonic mountains formed about 1.6 million years ago as a result of folding and structural upliftment. Mahindok Hills lie to the east of Satpura Hills. Panchmarhi is the highest point of Satpura range. Dubgarh is the highest peak of Panchmarhi. Maikala Hills lie to the east of Mahadov Hills. Amarkant Plateau is the part of Maikala Hills is about 1127 meter. So the plateau has drainage systems of Narmada and Sun. Hence it has drainage into Bay of Bengal as well as the Arabian Sea. The hills are rich in bauxite due to presence of Gondwana rocks. Jalandhar waterfalls over the Narmada is situated in Madhya Pradesh. So that's all from our topic. To read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. And to get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Thank you.